Why did the 1981 Jane Doe Cold Case remain unsolved for 42 years, leaving investigators puzzled and the victim unidentified for nearly 3 decades? What were the challenges that hindered the resolution of this case, where a young girl from San Antonio, Texas, was found shot multiple times in the head in Commemorate County, Texas, with her clothes torn off? How did advancements in DNA technology finally reveal her identity in 2023, bringing closure to this long-standing mystery? Hi, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the 44-year-old Jane Doe Cold Case, finally solved in 2023. As investigators delved into this enigmatic cold case, the city of San Antonio revealed its contrasting sides. Known for its rich colonial history and attracting tourists from all corners of the globe, it also harbored a darker underbelly that emerged during the 1970s and 1980s. On that fateful day, June 4, 1981, a chilling discovery was made: the lifeless body of a young girl, aged between 17 and 20, left abandoned about 7 miles south of North Braunfels, Texas, near Interstate 35. The gruesome sight told a haunting tale. She had been strangled and shot 6 times with a .25 caliber pistol, a weapon so small it could fit in the palm of one's hand. But who was this young victim? Her identity remained unknown, leaving detectives with limited leads to pursue. At first, the cause of death remained uncertain, but Commemorate County Justice of Peace R.G. Blanchard believed the gunshots had taken her life, not the choking. The girl's clothing told a tragic story: torn and discarded. She was left with only a multicolored shirt, white socks, and a bra pulled behind her neck. Despite the initial tests suggesting she had not been harmed, detectives remained unconvinced. The victim's body bore the scars of a struggle, indicating that she might have fought back against her assailant, trying desperately to save herself from a sinister fate. The gunshot wounds, one above her right eye and 5 more above and behind her right ear, only added to the mysteries of her tragic end. The lack of weapons at the crime scene led investigators to believe she had been killed elsewhere and unceremoniously dumped on the roadside. The darkness of this cold case cast a shadow over San Antonio's history, and for years, law enforcement searched tirelessly for clues to unravel the truth behind this heinous crime. The city's past whispered secrets of unsolved mysteries, and the haunting questions lingered. Who was this nameless victim? What led to her tragic fate on that desolate road? As the investigation continued, the cold case files were filled with unanswered questions, and the passage of time deepened the veil of uncertainty. The vibrant city's hidden secrets seemed to protect those responsible for this cruel act, leaving the victim's identity shrouded in mystery. Yet beneath the weight of unanswered questions, hope persevered. Cold case investigators held on to the belief that one day, advances in technology and the relentless pursuit of justice would bring clarity to the shadows that clouded this case. The Commemorate County Sheriff's Department asked for help to find out who the victim was, but nothing useful came back. From the beginning of the case, finding the young victim was the most important thing. So that the victim could be properly identified, DNA was taken from her fingernails, and a drawing of her face was put on signs and put up all over the city. Even after searching for her for a long time, the police were unable to find out who she was because no one in the area or nearby places knew anything about her and did not know her from the poster. Also, her DNA sample could not be used to find her because DNA testing was not common at the time. Since the girl's name was still unknown, the case was very important. Officials were sad that she had to be buried as a Jane Doe in the New Braunfels Cemetery in Texas instead of with her real name. The cops think that the young victim was kidnapped and forced to have sexual relations. When she tried to fight back, she was choked and shot, and then her body was left near New Braunfels, Texas, on I-35. But there was no hard proof or any other kind of evidence to back up their idea. Between 1976 and 1981, there was a lot of crime along I-35 in Texas. It was a hunting ground for a killer or killers who preyed on hitchhikers and drivers in trouble. They killed at least 22 people in 5 years, and this young girl was one of them. The first person being looked at was a serial killer called Henry Lee Lucas. He was on the run and was thought to have killed many people during that time. Lucas was caught in 1983, 2 years after the girl was killed. He admitted to killing the girl. He and another serial killer named Otis Toole both admitted to killing a lot of people during that time. Lucas was sentenced to death for another murder, but in 1985, he recanted his statements, which put several cases back in the unsolved column. One of these was the case of the unidentified girl. After a judge found Lucas not guilty of killing the girl in 1981, the investigation continued, but it did not lead anywhere. No one knew who she was, and it was getting harder to find out who she was. The investigation went on for a long time, but without knowing who the victim was, it was hard for the police to find the person who did it. The Comal County Sheriff's Office had a lot of mysteries to solve, but they did not have any real hints or leads to follow. They only had the victim's DNA, a photo, and the place where she had been left for dead. Even after talking to people in the area, they could not figure out what might have happened. The case was starting to look bad, and people's hopes were dwindling. Even though the investigation was still going on, the case went cold soon. In 2008, the Texas Rangers Unsolved Crimes Investigation Program looked into the case again. It had been cold for almost 30 years. When they looked through missing person reports, they found one that fit the victim's description from 1981. Then the Texas Rangers met with the family, who filled out a report about the missing person. Sandra DeLeon, who lived in the West Avenue area of San Antonio, was the one who made the report. Sandra and her family quickly recognized the 18-year-old girl in the victim's picture. They said that she was Sandra's older sister, Carol. With this statement, the police finally had a new hope, and after more DNA testing on her family, they were able to prove that she was who she said she was. After being called Jane Doe for 27 years, she was finally named Carol Joyce DeLeon in 2009. Carol Joyce DeLeon was born on February 18, 1963, in the home of Rodolfo DeLeon and Ramona Vara in Bexar County, Texas, USA. She grew up with Sandra, who was her younger sister, but there is not a lot of knowledge about her family. She lived in the part of San Antonio, Texas, called West Avenue. Carol finished Thomas Edison High School on May 28, 1981, just a few days before she died. Carol had a lot of free time after she graduated from high school. She thought it was time to move out on her own and start living on her own. She talked to her family, with whom she was living at the time, about her plans. She told them that she wanted to move out and start her own life now that she was 18. Her loved family said that it was okay. When asked where Carol was on the day of the event, her family said they thought she had gone out with her friends to spend the evening with them. When the police asked Carol's family why they did not file a missing persons report when she did not come back, they said that Carol had talked to them about where she would live when she turned 18 and that she knew she would be moving out. So they thought Carol must have done that. But after so many years of not hearing from Carol, her sister Sandra made a missing person report in 2007. The cold case of Carol Joyce DeLeon's disappearance remained unsolved for 26 years until a breakthrough in DNA testing in 2010. Despite public assistance ruling out one suspect, the case went cold again for 8 more years. In 2019, more DNA evidence led to the identification of 3 persons of interest, with advanced testing pointing to 68-year-old Larry Allen West. West denied involvement but had a history of violence. He was arrested in 2023 but released on bail. The mystery continues as Carol's fate awaits justice under her named headstone. The stories of these unsolved mysteries remind us of the importance of seeking justice and closure for the victims and their families. We hope you found this exploration intriguing and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, Please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be interested in true crime and cold cases. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest investigations and uncover more mysterious stories from the past. Thanks for watching.